Starting things with this cool video by ETB that shows a bunch of skydivers playing Quidditch mid-air. Proves that you don't need magic to play Quidditch. Catch this super video which is almost as good as magic. Next, what was in focus earlier this week was the final of Madrid Opens, where Djokovic defeated Andy Murray 6-2, 3-6, 6-3 to win a record 29th career Masters title. It was Djokovic's second title in Madrid and fifth of the year. He reached 33 wins, the most on tour in 2016. With this loss, Roger Federer surpassed Murray for number 2 in the world.
Novak Djokovic defeated Andy Murray 6-2, 3-6, 6-3 in the Madrid Open final on Sunday to win a record 29th career Masters title. Djokovic saved 7 break points in the final game and converted on his third match point on the night to secure the win over the defending champion, moving 1 victory ahead of Rafael Nadal in the Masters tournament victories. It was Djokovic's second title in Madrid and fifth of the year this season. He reached 33 wins, the most on tour in 2016. Djokovic hit 25 winners but had as many unforced errors, while Murray had 10 aces in the match that lasted 2 hours 6 minutes at the Magic Box Centre Court in the Spanish capital. The thrilling last game finally ended when Murray sent a forehand into the net, giving Djokovic his 15th straight win against top 10 opponents, a streak in which he has lost only 2 of the 35 sets. The top-ranked Serb has won 4 of the last 5 Masters titles, including 3 this year. He had already won in Indian Wells and Miami and had also clinched the Australian Open in a final against Murray. Murray is still expected to be considered one of the main favourites at the French Open, which begins in 2 weeks. He lost to Djokovic in last year's semi-finals at Roland Garros.
Now the other hot topic that kept the social media tubes busy was England women's cricket captain Charlotte Edwards' announcement of a retirement from international cricket. The retirement was made at Lord's in front of a room full of journalists. She was the skipper of the side since the last decade, where she became the only player in history of English cricket to lead the country in 200 internationals. She has led England to 2 world titles, the Women's World Cup and Women's World T20 in 2009 and 3 Ashes wins. The Women's World T20 was her last assignment with the team, where England made it to the semi-finals. She is also the most capped player in the women's game with 309 international appearances.
Charlotte Edwards announced her international retirement, bringing an end to her 20-year career, in which she captained England for 10 and became one of the most influential women in British sport. Edwards, who will continue playing at domestic level including the forthcoming first edition of the Women's Super League, took the decision following England's 2016 World T20 campaign, where they went out in the semi-finals against Australia. Her retirement marks the end of an era. Not only has Edwards, the state schoolgirl from Huntington, set a host of records, no woman has scored more ODIs or T20 runs and won just about every series available, the World T20, the World Cup and the Ashes 5 times, but she has been at the forefront of the move into professionalism and modernity. In a career stretching back 20 years, John Major was Prime Minister in 1996 when Edwards first played for England. She became the first woman to join the World Cricket Committee, was made one of Wisden's Cricketers of the Year and became the first player, male or female, to captain England in 200 internationals. Her achievements are immense. She has been a cricketing pioneer. She will continue to play at domestic level as well as continue to represent Kent. She will also captain Southern Vipers in the inaugural Super League this summer and play in the Big Bash this winter. It's not quite the end she wanted, of course, but to have represented her country with distinction more than 200 times, to have won every trophy, to have left the sport bigger and better than she found it and emerged as a role model to generations of followers. She has done her family, her clubs, her nation and her sport proud.
Former England teammates led with tributes on Twitter for the retiring Charlotte Edwards. Before moving, let's sip into a short break. On the other side, lots more coming up. Welcome back to your favorite show, Sports Connect. You can also watch the repeat telecast of the show tomorrow, Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Also, you can YouTube us at www.youtube.com/2-sports. Some good news for chess lovers this week. Grandmaster Arvind Chidambaram of India became champion in the Asian Junior Championships. Arvind Chidambaram lived up to his reputation and seeding by scoring an important final round victory to emerge as the Asian Junior Chess Champion, as India won 5 out of the 6 medals on offer here on Wednesday.
Grandmaster Arvind Chidambaram of India and Uruntuya Utsek of Mongolia became champions in the Asian Junior Open and Girls Championship which concluded at Park Plaza on Wednesday. In a pulsating final round, overnight sole leader Grandmaster S.L. Narayanan drew with international master Mausavi Sayyid Khalil, and this result helped Arvind to catch up with Narayanan after defeating Nima Javanbakh of Iran. Both players tied at 7 points, but direct encounter tie-break helped Arvind to clinch the title, while Narayanan satisfied with runner-up position. Harsha Bharatakoti completed the All-Indian podium finish after defeating international master Mosaddegh Ghafoor Masood of Iran in the final round. Meanwhile, the girls section had more dramas as Mongolian girl Huruntia Utsek produced an emphatic victory over top seed Vaishali to lift the winner's trophy, while Nandita V finished as a runner-up after defeating overnight joint leader K. Priyanka. R. Vaishali did not find a place on the podium as Ivana Maria Furtado won the bronze medal by securing final round victory over Bala Kannamma P. In the Asian Junior Blitz Championship, S.L. Narayanan won the gold medal, while Arjun Kalyan and Arvind Chidambaram secured silver and bronze medals respectively. R. Vaishali secured the yellow medal in the girls category, while Varshani finished second and Bala Kannamma won the bronze medal.
Now, as always, some sporting facts for you. So here goes the list. Did you know that Russia has a form of wrestling called Sambo that means self-defense without a weapon? Did you know that the first World Championships for men in volleyball was held in 1949? Did you know that the diameter of a full-size basketball is half the diameter of a basketball hoop? Slipping into a short break. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Now it's time for our sports quiz. Today's question is, which of the following games originated from England? And your options are baseball, archery, cricket or hockey. Get in touch with us with your answers using hashtag #DDSportsQuiz on Twitter and on Facebook. You can comment your answers on our post. Also, you can mail your answers at ddsportsconnect@gmail.com. Well, now it's time for our Olympic special segment, Rio Konnect. Earlier this week, Vinesh Fogart clinched a gold as Sri and Sakshi Malik secured Rio Games berth in their respective weight divisions on Saturday at the second World Olympic qualifying tournament. This is a historic feat of twin Indian female wrestlers qualifying for the Olympics for the first time. Meanwhile, on Friday, two more Indian wrestlers qualified for the Rio Olympic Games after their opponents at the Asian Olympic qualifiers failed dope tests. This was announced by the United World Wrestling Federation on Wednesday. With Babita Kumari and Ravinder Khatri winning quota spots, a total of 8 Indian wrestlers have made the cut, the most in any edition of the Games. India will send its largest ever contingent. More than 90 athletes have qualified for the Olympics in Rio so far. Now bringing to you the highlights of Rio Olympic torch relay. This week, historical cities, local celebrities, traditional festivals and lashings of beautiful nature were among the highlights as the second week of the Rio 2016 torch relay got underway. The Olympic flame passed through Minas Gerais, one of the most loved states in Brazil, famous for its colonial architecture, gastronomy and warm welcomes. And some sad news from the sporting world this week. Legendary West Indies cricket writer and commentator Tony Cozier passed away this Wednesday morning in Barbados. The West Indies Cricket Board announced he was 75. Cozier was born in Bridgetown, where the press box at Kensington Oval Cricket Grounds is named for him in tribute to his work as a journalist, radio and television analyst and historian. He was one of those great commentators who made you fall in love with this most fascinating game, who made you dedicate evenings of the cricket season in England and the mornings of that in Australia to radio.
Tony Cozier, who died in Barbados on Wednesday, was not merely the voice of West Indies cricket, especially to those who learned to love the game over radio and not television. For them, he was one who painted beautiful pictures of cricket just with his voice. He was one of those great commentators who made you fall in love with this most fascinating game, who made you dedicate evenings of the cricket season in England and the mornings of that in Australia to radio. Whenever the West Indies toured England or Australia, Cozier joined the commentary teams of the BBC or the Australian Broadcasting Commission. Back in the 1980s and 90s, you could listen uninterrupted to ball-by-ball commentary on all the test matches and the one-day internationals in India too, through the BBC and Radio Australia. Both the BBC and the ABC used to boast legendary voices in their commentary boxes. He had a most distinctive style, a lovely voice, a deep knowledge about and undying passion for the game. He was so passionate that you could easily see how disappointed he was with the decline in West Indies cricket. Remember, he had seen the heydays of West Indies that had players like Gary Sobers, Viv Richards, Clive Lloyd, Gordon Greenidge, Jeff DeJohn, Malcolm Marshall, Andy Roberts, Michael Holding and Joel Garner. The EIR never had the tradition of inviting the commentator from the visiting country. Saraya, one felt, was clearly influenced by the style of Cozier. Cozier may have become even more popular after he began doing television commentary too. He was mighty good on television as well. In fact, no commentator could be as at home both on radio and television as him. Thank you, Tony Cozier, for all those mornings and evenings of cricket on the radio.
Well, now it's time to say goodbye. We'll catch you all next week, same day, same time. Meanwhile, for the updates from the sports world, you can track us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Tweet us at DD Sports Channel. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Doordarshan-Sports. And for some action pictures, Instagram us at dd.sports. For videos, subscribe to us on YouTube at www.youtube.com/Doordarshan-Sports.